Good evening, my name is John Adkins, and I'm here to talk a little bit about maths and science. The Maths and Science Department covers maths and science. We have A-level maths, further maths, computer science, biology, chemistry, and physics, and then we also run a BTEC National Diploma in Applied Science and the BTEC Extended Certificate in Health and Social Care. We also run two, let's go back there. We also run two level 2 programs, GCSE Maths, and we also have a GCSE Science pathway, which I'll talk just a little bit about. And then finally, we just started this year, last year was the first. We're just getting ready to progress our first group of students in access to higher education in combined science. So A-level maths is obviously designed for students who expect to achieve a 6 or above in GCSE maths. The course contents includes pure maths, mechanics, and statistics. This course is usually taken alongside physics or one of the pure sciences, chemistry or physics usually. I do have some biologists this year that are also doing maths as well. Then further maths is for those students who really excel at maths and probably will achieve a 7 or better at GCSE. Again, pure mathematics and mechanics are the main topics here. There's no statistics in further maths. And then further maths is usually an entry requirement for a lot of Russell Group universities, and so we find a lot of students taking that who are applying to Russell Group universities. Computer science is about problem solving and then writing computer code to try to implement the solutions to those problems. Now, it's important to understand that there's no prior knowledge of computer programming necessary at the beginning. That's what that will be part of the course. So they cover theory of how computers work. They'll also talk about programming theory, and then you learn the language Python to write actual code. Foundation in biology and maths. We're looking for students that have at least a 5 or better at GCSE biology and maths. There's a strong component of maths now in all of the sciences. 20% of the final grade basically comes from math problems in the exams. And so we've sort of stepped up our requirements for maths. Topics include cell biology, biochemistry, plant and animal systems, ecology, evolution, classification. All of these topics should be familiar to students. They're all topics that are covered at GCSE. Students who take biology typically go on to university to study the pure sciences, biology or biochemistry, something like that, or they could specialize in an area like medical technology. I have students this year who are also supplementing their plans to go and study psychology with biology. It makes a nice combo with psychology. A-level chemistry is designed for students who are strong in chemistry and maths at GCSE. Again, we're looking for 5s in GCSE chemistry and a 5 in maths. Obviously, maths is a huge, important part of chemistry, and so students need to be strong in maths who want to do chemistry. Some of the topics, again, periodic table, energy, organic chemistry, physical chemistry, transition metals, and analytical chemistry. Students who study chemistry at A-level typically go on to study chemistry at university, or maybe chemical engineering, or maybe something like medical technology. And lots of the students that I have this year are doing biology chemistry combination. A-level physics is designed for students who are strong in physics and maths. And again, we're looking for 5s in GCSE physics, typo, and GCSE maths. And topics include force and motion, quantum physics, waves, capacitors, circular and simple harmonic motion. And students who study physics typically go on to study physics at university or mathematics or engineering, maybe even computer sciences. And there's a big market for physicists in the financial market now, even in these days, because they have those applied math skills and those problem solving skills that big money institutions are looking for. They allow them to look at forecasting and trends and those kinds of things. Now, the National Diploma in Applied Science is a level 3 program. It's a 2-year program, just like A Levels. It's equivalent to 3 A Levels. This is a full-time program. It covers all of the fundamental science in biology, chemistry, and physics. It's typically a hands-on based curriculum. There's lots of labs involved in the BTEC. It's mainly coursework, but it's important to understand that that the BTEC program has introduced externally marked exams this year. This year was the first year that our students did them, and so there are 2 units in the first year and 2 units in the second year that are basically externally marked. Students carry out a task. The one unit is an exam, the other unit is a task that they have to carry out and then submit their work for that. And then the same format in the second year. The BTEC Extended Certificate in Health and Social Care is equivalent to 1 A-level and is usually taken alongside A-level courses for students who are interested in maybe doing nursing or social work or primary teaching. It's equivalent to 1 A-level, and the topics include human lifespan development, care standards, and working in the health and social care industry. And it's examined by, of coursework that's worth 30% of the grade. Now, students sometimes come to us that still require a 4 at GCSE Maths, and so we run a GCSE Maths program that allows students to take that alongside their A-levels. If, say, for instance, they're doing humanities A-levels and don't have a 4 at GCSE Maths, they can take a 4, or they can take GCSE Maths and try to improve their grade to do that. We use the AQA exam board, and the topics cover numbers, algebra, geometry, ratios, probability, and statistics. And the nice thing about this GCSE class is students usually have already taken GCSEs and, like I said, still need to achieve a 4. They sort of know their weak points, and this course allows them to sort of focus on those weak points and bring those up to the strength needed to be able to pass the exam when they do. Lots of our students take the exam in November and pass the exam the first time, or the reset in November. Okay. And then we offer this GCSE Science Pathway. This course is designed basically for international students who've just immigrated to the UK and don't have credentials that would allow them to progress straight into a level 3 program. And so the program consists of 5 GCSEs, the 3 sciences, biology, chemistry, and physics. They also take GCSE Maths and GCSE English. So in the first year, or in the year with 5 GCSEs, which is basically the minimum requirement to enter into a level 3 program at Windsor College. This program is, like I said, designed principally for students who come to the UK without the credentials to move straight into a level 3 program. Then finally, the program that we just ran this year for the first year is the Access to Higher Education Diploma in Combined Science. We had 6 students this year, all of which completed and all of which have offers to university to go on and study medical technology. So the Access Diploma is equivalent to 3 A levels. It's designed for individuals who are returning to education. Typically, it's going to be someone who's 19 plus. And so this is designed for those people who have taken a break from education, maybe for employment or, you know, some other life, you know, lifestyle, they've just decided not to go on straight into university and now have decided that that's the option that they need to take. And so it meets 3 days a week. It's quite intense because we're covering quite a lot of material. We're covering basically 2 years worth of material in a single year. It's equivalent to 3 A levels. And so it's quite intense. It's full on. Students are expected to be self-motivated and have the ability to work at their own direction. But like I said, we had 6 enrolled this year, all 6 completed, and we're quite proud of that. If there are any other questions, Fiona is standing by to take questions in the chat box, and I'll happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Hi John, we've had just a question. I think you have already gone over this, but it might be worth just repeating.
Okay.
About what are the more common universities and careers gained from these subjects?
Well, I mean, I've got students who are going to, lots of the universities in the local area. Reading gets a lot of our students. We send a lot of students to Reading University. I've got a student in Access who's in the Access course who's accepted an offer from Royal Holloway. And so, it's a wide range of universities in the local area and not so local area. I've had students in the past who've gone to Portsmouth and to the one in Bristol. I don't think it's, what's the name of the university in Bristol? Is it Bristol or is it
University of Bristol? Oh, University of West of England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did have a student a couple of years ago who did go to University of Bristol as well. I've had a student a couple of years who went to Leeds, and so there are reputable universities.
Yes, very much so. Something else that's quite different, I think, about Windsor is the facilities. Maybe you could tell us a bit about the labs and things for the science.
Okay. Yeah, we have three functioning labs in the science department. 2 that we refer to as wet labs. It's where chemistry and physics can really take place. And then we have a lab that's pretty much dedicated to physics. It doesn't have the wet facilities that you really require for biology and chemistry. And so it's mainly taken up by physics, but it's fully equipped. We have microscopes. We have microscope with camera, so we can project on the smart board and show people what it is they're supposed to be looking for, and full complement of chemistry equipment. All 3 of the A-level sciences have required practicals that are required to achieve the practical endorsement at the end of the year or at the end of the 2 years. And so we're well equipped to carry out all of those required practicals and give students the hands-on experience that they need to move on to university and succeed there.
Thank you. And can you say anything about the kind of plans to return to learning in September and what the college is doing to keep students safe?
Well, as most people know, there are no real firm plans yet. We're still waiting on instructions from the government on what September will look like. But you know, I think you can be assured that the college is doing everything that it can to make sure that students and staff are safe. Our president or our chief executive officer talks to us almost weekly about some of the planning that's going into this, but with no firm decisions yet. And so it's my own personal feeling. I've spoken to my students this year. It wouldn't surprise me. We're doing online classes right now. I deliver 2 of the 3 class meetings that I have with my A-level biologist this year online. And it wouldn't surprise me to see that some type of hybrid blended learning system might start in September, where we'll do some online learning but have class meetings in the building at the same time. I think the object is to sort of try to limit the maximum number of people that are in the building at any one time and try to make it safe for everybody.
That's great, thank you. And I know there's some work being done on the timetables as well to try to avoid peak travel.
Exactly. So, almost all of our students commute. I commute myself from Reading every day. And so, yeah, there are attempts being made to try to shift the timetable, move classes around a bit so that we can avoid those peak travel times.
Great, thank you. Has anybody got any more questions for John? Just pop it on the chat box and John and I will just wait patiently to see if there's anything else that you'd like to know about. Looks like that's it for questions then, John. You must have answered all the questions in your presentation.
Either that or I bored them and they're all taking a nap.
That's great. I'll also just pop on the chat room the John's contact details. Yep. If you would like to drop him a line if you do have any further questions, and also the email address of our admissions team if you have any questions about which course is the right course for you and how to apply and the whole process, then feel free to drop them a line. I have actually one question coming in, John, if you just want to wait.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
This is a very good question that's just come in. Somebody is joining us in September. Is there any prep work that they could start to do? And I think you guys put some resources together.
Yeah, I didn't sort of cover that because all of the subject, if you go, we've done presentations for all of the individual subjects. And one of the things that we were asked to cover in those individual subject videos is the summer work. And yes, it's going to be located on the college website under Year 11 resources. And those are being updated constantly. I've got a whole set of new summer work to put out there for the sciences. Probably will appear there within the next couple of weeks. And so just check the college website, look for Year 11 resources under, I think it's under Student Life. If I'm not mistaken, it's the Student Life tab at the top, and then you'll be directed through the subjects to the specific work set for each of the subjects.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, John. We're loading up a lot of resources next week onto the website, and everybody that's registered for this event, we will forward you all those details at that time. Okay, any more questions before we wrap things up? Okay, thanks very much for joining us today. Thanks, John. That was a really interesting presentation.
Okay, thank you very much.
The recording of this we will also send out to you and we will post online. So if you want to go back and revisit anything that John's discussed today, then you have the chance to do that. Okay.
And don't hesitate to contact me on email. I'll respond as quick as I can.
Great. Thanks, John.
Thank you. So can I go now or? Okay, yeah, no problem.